What's going on, guys? Nick here, and welcome to a new video I decided to upload. It's mainly a very, it's a very, I guess you could say it's a touchy topic, I suppose. But no, all seriousness, let me just get into the gameplay real quick. What the gameplay that you guys are watching right now is just me on my tunes fucking off, really. I got my freaking arena weapon, which is awesome. But let's get back to the video. I don't want to keep you guys here for a while. Mainly, I saw this tweet get posted up the other day. Someone retweeted it, and it was a mom that was freaking out. I mean, she was just spazzing about her kid and how he plays video games. And like, this kid's like maybe not even 8, 9 years old. I mean, this kid's just chilling, playing Minecraft. I mean, she was freaking out. She was saying, you know, I don't understand why kids are addicted to these type of games. I don't understand why my kid has to be addicted with them. She was just spazzing the fuck out. And it made me it made me a little bit mad though. If you guys hear that in the background, that's William. But it made me a little bit mad though, because like, this woman was just blaming and bashing and completely just criticizing video games and console gaming and like PC game. I mean, just any game in general. It doesn't really, I don't give a shit. Like, this woman just despised it like it was the devil's lettuce. Really, this woman was just complaining the entire time. So I was reading it a little bit more, and like, this woman went to so much extinct that she like got rid of her kids' consoles, got rid of the computer, got rid of it all, and told them like, no more, like, you can't play this no more. Like, his kid is 8, 9 years old, and like, she was just hating it. Like, she was just bitching, she was complaining, she was just everything, and it pissed me off so bad. So like, I wanted to give you guys an input on my little bit of life story, and how, by the titles you can tell, how gaming and YouTube saved my life. And honestly, it really did. Growing up for me wasn't bad. I'm not saying like I grew up in a very rich neighborhood or anything. I grew up in a nice little home, you know, but when it came to like money situations and whatnot, that was a very big struggle. My mom, my dad was always on the road, my dad was never at home, and my mom was working at a nursing home. My mom was working like 2 jobs. I mean, my mom was working her hardest to feed 2 kids. That was me and my brother, and herself. Like, it was bad. Like, my mom was just stressed about it. On top of that, my mother's marriage with my mom and my dad, like, it wasn't the best. I'm not going to get into topic and get too personal with that. I'm going to get like how it affected me, but I will give you guys a background story behind it. My mom and dad, they didn't get along at all. I'm not going to get into details, like I said. Just think about it. They didn't get along at all. But, and like, not going to mention it. Just, they didn't like each other, and they didn't like each other at all. My mom hated it where my dad was always on the road, and of course my father, he was out, he didn't give a shit. Don't think I'm bashing on my father, because I'm really not. I love my dad to death. He's a very good man, and I love him to death. I love both of my parents to death. But like I said, this is just a story on my side. My dad was always gone. He wasn't around. My dad was never there for me whatsoever. He is now, but when I was growing up, when it really should have mattered, he wasn't there. I understand he was out trying to make money and everything, but when he came in, it was mainly just he came home and slept, and then he went back out to work. Like, it sucked. I mean, he was a good father, don't get me wrong. He never laid his hands on me. He didn't lay his hands on my brother at all. But I mean, it sucked. I didn't have a father figure. Everyone was like, Nick, you know, you live in Virginia, or you lived in West Virginia, you know, why don't you hunt? Why don't, you know, I never had that father figure. Like, honestly, I hunted once my entire life. My brother took me. I was like 12 years old. I shot a squirrel. I was a fucking badass. Like, a fucking pop. I quick scoped the shit out of that squirrel. But real talk though, I just wanted to, if you guys are having the same struggle I did, just remember, like, everything will get better, and I can promise you that, guys. But about the age of 4 is when I started gaming, and when I started actually holding a controller and holding it. And I remember it too, because when I was 4 years old, the first game I ever played was Legend of Zelda. Best game. I mean, Nintendo 64, I played it, and I remember it because it was me, my dad, and my brother. We were all sitting in the floor, and we were playing it. We were on the first boss in the Great Deku Tree, and I swallowed a marble. I was stupid. I was such a stupid little kid. I swallowed a marble. I was 4 years old. I was like, oh, this looks good. Put it in my mouth. I swallowed that. My mom was freaking out. Mom was like, Jim, you swallowed a marble. You swallowed a marble. Put her hand down my throat and everything. So, yeah, I used to eat marbles. Get some balls in my mouth. But, on some real talk, though, like I said, though, like, when I was growing up, it was sort of a struggle. It wasn't really too bad. I mean, money situations, it was. But, like, it wasn't as bad as some people want to try to make it. By the age of 6, though, is, I would say a couple years went on. I gamed a little bit. I started playing PS1. I started playing PS2, and it went on from there. Now, where it gets a little bit dark is when I hit 12. When I was 12 years old, my brother was like 16, 17 years old, 34, 15, about 17, 18, somewhere around there, because he's like 7 years apart of me. And it was on Christmas Eve, and my dad came in from work, and my dad was looking for something, and he looked at my mom's purse. Well, my mom was going off on him, like, don't go through my shit, all that. It's just privacy reasons, I suppose. Like, not saying my mom was doing anything, not saying none of that. Don't think that at all. I'm just saying, like, it's your thing. Like, you wouldn't want people going through your phone. You wouldn't want people going through nothing. Like, really. I mean, if you have something to hide, I guess you would be worried. But I think my dad was looking for a checkbook. I think, yeah, he was looking for a checkbook. And my mom and dad got into a big old tearing down argument. And my dad hollered at my mom and was like, "Shut the fuck up, you fucking cunt." My dad hates it. Like, my mom hated that word. My mom hated the word cunt in general. I mean, I don't say, like, I say it, but then I catch myself saying, I'm like, "Ew, shouldn't say that." Well, my mom went in and they started fighting, and it got physical. So I'm gonna say it got very physical, bad. Now remember, I was 12 years old. This was on Christmas Eve. It got very, very physical. My brother came in with a mag flashlight, a blue mag flashlight, like like that fucking big, like that, and came in and he smashed my dad's head open with it. Blood going down his face, back of his head, side of his head, everything. That traumatized me. I was a 12-year-old. That traumatized me. I would go into my room in flashbacks. Because I remember after that all happened, my dad stood up and he said, "I'm sorry, son. I love you." And then he walked out. I didn't see my dad for like 3 to 4 years. 3, 4, 5 years. I mean, it was bad. And, like, then court, of course, got involved. Custody. My mom had main custody. I mean, my dad had weekend visits. He would come down once a month, I believe, and he would come and just see me. That's all. I mean, just being a father, he came and see me. But I was 12 years old. I was traumatized by it completely. It was the worst thing I've ever seen in my entire life. Like, I used to go in my room and I would play my games, and visions would just pop up. I was so traumatized by it. And I was so traumatized I got sent to counseling because it was so bad. I couldn't stop picturing what I saw. And that went on for about maybe a year or two until I finally got my head back on straight. And then it started maybe back in like 6th grade, and what happened was that I started getting bullied a lot. My mom and dad got divorced. People knew the parents of the children knew, so they would, I guess the children would hear their mom and dad talking about it, I guess, and then of course the kids would bring it to school. That's where the whole bullying situation came involved, though, was because, I know there's a lot of people that get bullied, and I'm not trying to be that guy that jumps on that bullying bandwagon. I'm not doing that. But in all honesty, like, in my point of view, bullying is completely wrong. If you're going to do it, not even that, don't even do it. Like, if you're thinking about doing it, just think. You don't know what's going on in that kid's head. You don't know, like, what's going on in his life. Like, you don't know. And when it comes to that, like, you really gotta think not just about yourself, but you really need to think about, like, that kid as well. But it happened. We probably had it. I would say it started really bad, though. Fucking William. It started really bad, though, when I was about 12 years old, and I was in 6th, 7th grade, somewhere around there, and I would get bullied a lot, really bad. I mean, I would get picked on. I would get rejected by girls. I wasn't part of the popular group. I wasn't. I mean, I was just that kid that played video games. I dreaded going to work. I used to fake sick all the time because I hated going to work. School. I was scared. Scared to go to school. I used to call my mom every day, be like, "Mom, I want to go home. Like, I want to go home. I want to play my games, And of course, I understand. Like, that's where, like, my mom, she did good. She was a parent. She's like, "No, Nick, stay at school." But, like, it got to the point where I had people threatening to come to my house, and I had people, like, stalking me at my house. Like, I had people going to my house and, like, coming and seeing where I live, and I mean, it was bad. I mean, I was playing video games, and then people would tell me that they were on their way to my house, or they were just anything really. And like when it, honestly, that's where it got to the point where I was like, okay, well, this is where I need to take control at least. I dropped out at the age of 15. If you guys do not know that, I dropped out when I was 15 years old. Dropped out when I was in 10th grade, and I got bullied from maybe 6th grade all the way up to 8th. 8th grade, after that year, about 8th grade is when I gained a little bit of weight. Now, some of you guys are like, well, Nick, you don't even look like you gained weight. I used to weigh over almost 200 pounds. I was very big. I was a big boy. And 8th grade year is when I started getting bullied a lot. Like, I would go into school and people would be like, oh, Nick, how many double chins you got? Or, Nick, let me see how many double chins you can make. And that's where to the point where it started hitting me. And, like, I was older, you know, what people said to me, it affected me. And I got to the point where I started starving myself. I wouldn't eat. I would eat maybe one meal a day. And then I hit a growth spurt. And then I lost my weight. It stretched. Because, I mean, if you have weight, you grow, you know, you get tall, you're going to stretch. Plus, I smoke cigarettes, so that's why I still don't have a little bit of meat on me. I got bones. But, like, people would be like, Nick, how many double chins can you make? Or, Nick, how many triple chins can you make? And that was very shitty for what they would say to me. And it hurt my feelings a lot. When high school year came around, I grew my hair out. Not gonna lie, I wasn't a Bieber fan, but I had the Bieber do. High school came around, about 9th grade. Of course, I came back to school. People were like, oh, Nick, you still don't have a father. Oh, Nick, you know, your mother and father broke up. Or, I mean, anything. I used to get picked on by seniors, sophomores. I mean, you were a freshman. I understand that I was a freshman, but it was bad. Like, it was just pinpoint on me. Like, I was the weak target because they knew I was a gamer. They knew that I hated being at school. They knew I hated how people acted. Like, they just knew. So I was like the pinpoint target. Not only that, when I was in 9th grade, like, even one of my teachers, 2 of them actually, would pinpoint me and just bash me. Even my school counselor would bash me, and that's pretty shitty. If you're going to work for the education and you're going to work for a school board, you need to at least have a little bit of heart. I'm not going to lie about that. If you're a counselor, I will explain to you guys about that story later down the video. But when I hit 9th grade, get back on track. When I was in 9th grade, I was gaming still. You know, that's when I started playing a lot of World of Warcraft. That's when I started playing a lot of RuneScape as well. I had fun playing it. It was so much fun. I mean, I had more friends online. I mean, I do nowadays. I have more friends online than I even did in real life. I had maybe like 1 friend in real life, and I had like 200 friends online. And I loved it. I loved going home, and I loved putting on a headset, or I loved putting on my Turtle Beaches, or turn on my Xbox and just partying up with like 12 people. It was fun. Like, that's what made me keep a good, like, to keep my head in the right position. But of course, when I go back to school, I would get bullied. People would pick on me. People would just bash me. You know, I would get punched. I'd get kicked. I'd get thrown rocks at. I mean, really, it was just every bully movie that you see, or like Forrest Gump, like where they're throwing rocks at him, run, Forrest, run. Like, that was me. That was me. I was a little motherfucking Forrest. And it sucked. But after I started myself, and after I tried doing that to lose weight, because I started realizing I want to be like these cool kids. I want to do what they do. You know, they got people around them. I wanted to be like them. And honestly, if you are in school right now and you have that clique, don't try to be like them. Don't. Stay who you are. Stay watching YouTube. Stay doing YouTube videos. Keep on gaming. I'm not going to tell you, don't go after what you want to go for. But those popular kids that you see in school nowadays are the ones that are most likely not going to be able to succeed in life unless they have handouts to them, like mommy, daddy, teachers. Teachers, of course. Teachers will pull strings for anybody, and it's a shitty feeling because they don't know how they act outside of school or outside of anything. They know them as a athlete or Mr. Prom or any of that. I never went to prom. I never went to any school dances. I stayed home and gamed, and I loved it. My mom told me one of my mom's friends was like, you know, Tammy, Nick's always at home. Why don't you let him go out and do something? My mom was like, if he's playing his games and he's happy and he's having fun, I'd rather him be here, because who knows? She told her he could be out there doing drugs right now, and that's the truth. I mean, gaming has kept me from going out and being the bad. I've gotten offered to parties, I've gotten offered to go drink, I've gotten offered to that, but I was young, I was little, I was like, nah, like I'm gonna stay home, play my games, like fuck off. I'm enjoying killing nerds online. No, but after that happened, ninth grade went by. It went pretty smoothly. It wasn't too bad of a year. When I hit 10th grade, it got really bad. That's where like the thought of suicide would come in. I had a lot of people hate on me because of it. I used to just get picked on all the time. I used to get pushed down steps in 10th grade. I used to get punched. I mean, I used to get it all. I mean, it was a very, very bad time for me. My brother, he moved out. My mom was working like 1 to 2 jobs every day. My mom was pulling doubles, trying to just let me and her survive. My brother moved out. He found himself a girlfriend. He moved out. So it was me and my mom. And it was hard. It was really hard. My mom would come home stressed, and it was just hard. It was hard for her because she would come home and she would know she didn't have food to cook me, and she would give me her scraps so I could have something to eat. I mean, it was very hard. And of course, that got to the school. People used to call me poor. People used to. It was just name calling after name calling, and it is such a shitty feeling. I mean, it is. If you're doing it now, stop. Like, there's no need to bully somebody. You think it's cool? It really isn't. It's a dick move. And one day you will, if you keep doing it and you keep on bullying and you keep on hating on people and you keep calling them names and you keep, everything, you will have your teeth knocked in by somebody. I mean, you will. There's no doubt about it. You think it's cool to bully people? It really isn't. It's not. It doesn't make you look tough. It doesn't make you gain any success in life. It just makes you look like a fucking asshole. So if you're watching this and you're bullying people, stop. But when it comes, I get fired up when I talk about it too, but in 10th grade, that's when I started getting bullied a lot. I used to get picked on, used to get pushed down steps. I mean, I had my head busted open because I had someone push me down some cement steps one time, and it was a shitty feeling. And then 10th grade came around, I was like, I'm done. I had a teacher, I'm not going to say his name, but he was related to my dad one time. Well, his wife was related to my dad, and it was my dad's cousin. Well, he didn't like me because he knew who my father was. So he would pinpoint me. He's like, oh, so you're so-and-so's son. I'd be like, yeah. He's like, okay. He act cool. One day in the class, I turned around. We had, I don't know if you guys have it at your schools, but we do here. We did here. I don't know if we still do. But they were like these talk out loud tests. It's where you take a test, you turn around, help somebody take it. Or if you get finished first, you can turn around, help somebody take it. Well, I got done with mine first. I mean, I'm not going to say I was smart. I was smart in school, but it just wasn't for me. But what happened was that I had a friend that was behind me, and he was like, hey, Nick, can you help me with this question? I was like, yeah. So I turned around and started helping him. Well, my teacher was like, Nick, why are you talking? I was like, what are you talking about? I was like, everyone else is talking. And he got mad because I told him that. I was like, everyone else is talking, so why are you going to get on to me? And, he didn't say anything. So what happened was that I turned around and started helping my friend again. Well, he looked at me, he was like, Nick, you need to go to the office. I remember this plain as sight. I was like, oh my god, dude. That's exactly what I said. I said, oh my god. I grabbed my shit and I walked out of that classroom. Got sent to the I called my mom. I was bawling. I mean, I ain't gonna lie to you guys. I was crying. I hated it. I mean, that teacher bullied me for so much, and then on top of that, just people, just the students doing it as well. I mean, it got overwhelming, and that's when I started thinking about suicide. I mean, I did. I had a lot of chances of doing it, and I kept telling myself, Nick, it's okay. Nick, it's okay. And when I got online, my online friends would cheer me up in a heartbeat, and that's what's awesome about it. I mean, I would get home and I would tell my friends what would happen, or I would tell them how my day went. I mean, even when I was like a 12-year-old or even 15 or 16, I had like 30-year-olds tell me, they're like, come on, man, you'll be all right. And I would listen to them. So after I called my mom crying and everything, I was like, Mom, I'm done. I'm ready to leave. My mom came and picked me up. She took me to the counselor. She signed the dropout papers. My mom, they were like, now, Tammy, you do, this is what I was telling you guys about the counseling. If you're going to work for the school board, don't do what this woman did. I hope, if this video goes viral because of this, I hope this bitch gets fired for what she does. Even if she's still there. But they were like, Tammy, you do know if Nick drops out, he's never going to succeed in life. That was her exact words. She said, I would never succeed in life at all. And my mom ripped her ass out. My mom was like, well, I hate to tell you, but his uncle Larry was a dropout and a GED, and he made, I don't know how much he made, like, he made a lot of money. Like, he traveled to China and would do construction. I mean, he made a lot of money. I don't know how much he made, but she explained that to the counselor. My counselor was like, oh, well, that's not around here no more. I mean, she was just stupid. She was dumb. And so she was like, well, Tammy, would you like to talk to Mr. Blah, 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 you know, my teacher? Mom was like, no, because if I talked to him, I'm pretty sure I would beat his ass. So we signed the dropout papers. I went AWOL. No one knew. I went off the radar. No one knew where I went. No one did nothing. Dropped out. Got a phone call from my dad. Son, I know that you dropped out. If you need a job, start working with me. My dad was a supervisor for a construction company. He still is. If I want to work there right now, I could. 15 years old, I was doing labor work. Did that all the way up to I was 17. Okay. I went up to Roanoke. Richmond. I'm sorry. I went to Richmond. And I worked with them. I did construction. I lost more weight. I got tan. I cut my hair. That's when my confidence boosted up. I was still gaming though. That's the thing. I was still gaming while I was doing all this. I was watching YouTube. I was still gaming. I mean, I was still doing it all. And I cut my hair. And then one day I was like, you know what? I'm going to reactivate my Facebook. Reactivate my Facebook. Posted a picture of what I used to look like. Well, I still look like it, but right now this is my relaxed after work shirt clothes. You know, Patrick with the sloth. Let's go. Stay slothy. But I posted one picture. Got like 40 likes in a heartbeat. I had all these girls from my old school message me, hey Nick, where'd you go? Nick, you know, what are you doing? Where are you at? Want to hang out? Not gonna lie, I added almost 50 some people on my block list. I didn't even message none of them back. And it's shitty because they saw how I used to look and they saw the money I made. Because I posted one picture one time. It was of my paycheck. I got a $700 paycheck in 1 week from doing construction. And I just got messages from all these girls like, oh my god, Nick, we've missed you, where you're at. And that shows how shitty people could be. Like, they see one paycheck post. Because I did. I was like, oh man, you know, because I took a picture of it. I was proud of myself. I was very proud of myself. And I thought I wanted people to see, you know, I'm doing good now. And when I got that, that really did piss me off. Like, people were just like, hit me up. They were asking for money. They were doing all this shit. And it was very shitty. So I dropped all that. You know, I went ahead to leave my Facebook again. Well, age of 17, my brother and his wife got married, so I went to the beach, and my confidence blew up even more. I was like, wow. I was like, you know, I'm getting all these girls talking to me. I got money. I'm having some fun. I mean, it's awesome. And I went to the beach, had a lot of fun. Had a lot of fun. And so I came back home. I stopped doing construction. I was 17 years old. 17. Got with this girl. I dated her for 3 years. She is a bitch. Bitch. Not gonna say her name, but got with her. And my first job was working at Wendy's. I turned 18. I was working at Wendy's. I had a lot of fun. Worked about a month. But it wasn't something I wanted to do right now. So I left, and then I went to Walmart, did retail. I got 3 management positions my first year there. And I was very happy with that. And then I had the fast food franchise hit me. They were like, Nick, would you like to come try us out? Went to Burger King. I'm not going to lie to you guys. Don't frown upon fast food workers. Honestly, it is a good feeling when you know that you are an assistant manager for a very big franchise that has a restaurant in almost every single state. And, I mean, it's fun. I mean, it's very fun. And I worked, and I've achieved everything. I've earned everything. I haven't had handouts. I haven't had none of that. I've worked for everything that I have. And now I have a daughter. I got a beautiful girlfriend that lets me game. I'm still gaming ever since today. I started gaming when I was 4 years old. Gaming now since I'm 21. I'm still doing YouTube. But, you know, I got a girlfriend. I got a very nice home. I got a good job. I'm stable. I got good friends to support me. And I also have my YouTube community back. And that's what's awesome about it. But if you're getting bullied, just keep your head up. Don't doubt yourself. Don't let yourself get to the point like I did. Because if you did, you won't be here. And if you don't get to that point, you'll be where I'm at. Not working at fast food maybe, but somewhere else. I mean, you might be doing good in life. But I'm sorry if you guys thought that there was just nothing but a bunch of rambling. I decided to get a little bit closer with you guys. I mean, I do appreciate all the support that you guys have been doing for me. And you guys know when I'm about to do it, about to end my video, because I do a lot of hand motions. Like, I've noticed that when I watch my videos, I do a lot of hand motions. But like I said, guys, if you guys are getting bullied or if you guys are being picked on, just get through it. You'll be okay. There's nothing in this world that can change who you are unless it's yourself. I mean, that's a good quote. Scums TV quote 2016, bruh. But don't let people get to you guys. Enjoy gaming. Enjoy doing YouTube while you can, because I mean there is gonna be a day where you do pass away and you can't do it no more. So just enjoy it. Enjoy having fun. Enjoy making friends. Enjoy doing videos. Even if you don't have a lot of subscribers, keep doing it. You're going to get there. I'm going to get there. And we'll get there together. But guys, I want to say thank you guys so much for listening to my rambling. I hope you guys enjoyed this stupid little gameplay. It was just, I got my weapon. That's all that matters, really. But honestly, guys, thank you so much, really. Goodbye, my heart, for everything you have done. I will see you guys